Right, OK, so City, the last 7 games, 2 wins. One of them was against Exeter in the FA Cup, and they did beat Newcastle, in fairness, away in the Carabao Cup semi-final. But what's going wrong?
Yeah, I think when you look at this team, I mean, Mark Gahey going in there this week, them sealing that deal, I think is massive for them based upon their back line. I mean, saw the mistake there from Elaine. I mean, these things happen in a game, but you look at O'Reilly in the game, Kusanov, their back line, they're 20 years old, 2021. And then Ait-Nouri, since he's gone there, I don't think it's really, he's had his injuries, it hasn't really gone to plan. And I think, this man behind not scoring goals. Fair play to Haaland because he does front up. 1 goal in 7 now, and when he's not scoring... And that was a penalty. But a goal's a goal at the end of the day. Like, they all count. But I just think when he's not scoring, it's almost like, where did the goals come from? I like Shirky. I think he's been a fantastic signing. You look at their bench last night. Mamouche comes into the game. He looked like he got off to a really good start to his Man City career. But when I look at Pep Guardiola, he just looks tired as well. Do you know what I mean? I know there's a lot of speculation about the summer. A lot of people are speculating that Enzo Maresca's going to go in there already next week. Like, all these kind of outside noises. Phil Foden also playing with a broken hand, fair play to him, but I feel like City were a side a few years ago that, had Mahrez, Alvarez, their strength in depth was different, Gondowan, and I feel like Bernardo Silva was obviously performing to the levels he used to as well. Then he's been linked away to Juventus. So I look at this Man City team and they're still in second in the Premier League, but they're nowhere near the levels we know that they can play. And this has been now the 2nd season. It's been like that, Tom.
So in that case, is it not a blip? Is it a serious concern?
I think it is a concern. I mean, I know I said at the top of the show a 6, but I want to have a little bit of balance because I still think, regardless of what team I support, Man City are a top side. You know what I mean? They've got one of the best managers ever to manage in the game. But I think I look at this team and I just think their strength in depth is so different to how it used to be. You look at Arsenal this year, their depth is the way City used to be. And that's no coincidence to me why Arsenal are thriving at the top of the league. But I thought last year it was just a blip. This year it's looking a bit more concerning. They're playing Wolves at the weekend. So that should be, to be fair to Rob Edwards, Wolves are doing a bit better of late. But to be fair, City should get that one wrapped up.
Rodri, brilliant player, experienced player, but 2 yellow cards in less than a minute.
Not something you'd expect from someone like him. And I still don't think he looks fully fit. I know that he's had that ACL injury. I had the same injury myself. I know it's difficult to come back from. Then there's FIFA Club World Cup, he's playing in those types of games. They're trying to manage his minutes, but there's always that conundrum. Can City play without Rodri? Remember last year, they were like, the reason why they're not winning is because Rodri isn't there. And he's such a main impact on this team. But a player like him, they were yellow cards. He should know better. We all make mistakes, but he should know better in that moment, and especially when he's captaining the side. So, that last night was fair play to Bodo Glimt because, people often focus on these types of teams, which I understand, but that was probably really embarrassing for Haaland, going back home. All the fans were there. It's almost like that non-league type of stadium, isn't it? It's artificial pitch. And, fair play to Bodo Glimt because when they went up by 2 early on, in the first 20, 25 minutes, we all still thought City will probably come back and win this one 5-2 or something. And that was the City of old for me a couple of years ago. So fair play to Bodo Glimt. But I feel for Haaland because he would have been quite embarrassed last night going back to his, home country and getting beat.
Yeah, that's the word he used, wasn't it? He said embarrassing. Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. To have your say on your club, download the Finalysis app now. You can scan the QR code here for more details. Let's speak to a Manchester City fan in Aston Buckley. Right, OK, Aston, last night it was Bodo Glimt's first win in the Champions League ever. How concerned were you by that performance?
Yeah, very concerned. I mean, there was no fight, no desire, no energy at times, and mainly a lack of quality, which has been the big problem since the start of the year, I feel. It started in the Manchester derby where City didn't turn up. They could have lost that game 7-0, and I don't think we could have complained. Last night, it could have been 5, and I am really concerned about what's going on at the moment. I don't quite understand what the issues are, and it could be the strength in depth. It could be the lack of leadership in the team with the injuries, but something's going wrong massively.
When you say strength in depth there, is there any excuse for that? Because while most clubs have been quiet in January, you've brought in probably the 2 most sought-after players in the Premier League. I know they couldn't play last night, I know that, but I'm mean in general. Yeah,
2 great signs. They couldn't play last night, which I think City did struggle with. I think they could have done with both those players last night. I mean, Núñez has been out injured, I think, which has been a big one at the moment, with obviously the defence already struggling with Diaz and Vardy out. Yeah, Stones is out as well. Núñez has been fantastic at right back, which I wouldn't have thought at the start of the season. He's really come on in that position. he missed the Manchester derby, so Rico Lewis comes in there. I think Lewis had a really bad game. I think that then Pep Guardiola didn't trust him yesterday. So you've got Lewis a right back in midfield, you've got O'Reilly midfielder at left back, and then you've got Aït-Nouri a left back at right back. And it just seemed all over the place at times in that one. Since Rodri's come back, which is great to have him back, Nico has been injured, so we're lacking his sort of energy off the ball. Rodri isn't up to the standard yet. He's not fit, I don't think, to play in so many games. But with Nico injured, he's playing pretty much every game. And then I suppose there is questions to be asked of Pep Guardiola. I don't like to do that. I mean, he's been amazing for City for so long. But before the extra game, he's saying Haaland's exhausted, he's tired. He starts him in that one. And then he played another 94 minutes again last night. So if he's tired, why is he playing every game? And you can see he's tired.
Yeah, Aston, I want to just jump in here because I spoke about Pep and, like, regardless of what team I support, I have a lot of respect for Pep Guardiola. And you were saying you're not quite sure what's exactly going on, but, like, he looks exasperated, doesn't he, at times? You know when Jurgen Klopp, like, left the Liverpool job and everybody was quite shocked when it happened? And as we see, pressure is on these managers now, isn't it? But, like, he just looks, and it's infectious. When you have a manager that looks like they just run themselves into the ground, maybe it is time for Pep to move on.
I'd never want that to happen, so I'm hoping he stays another 10 years and longer, really. I mean,
really, though,
I do
even with
that.
regards to how the last 2 seasons have gone, like, I'm not denying he's been one of the greatest ever managers, and we have that nostalgia as fans. You know, I'd love Sir Alex Ferguson to come back to Man United, but, like, the last 2 years, Man City have been nowhere near the levels, and Pep looks like, when he's in his pressers, after the games, he just looks like he's tired.
I think he is tired. He probably is tired. Maybe he does decide to go out in the season. There's lots of rumours about that. I personally think he'll figure a way out of it. He always has done that in the past. I know his scars of last season, which was a big problem. City do feel like they're going a little bit the way of last season with those injuries in the back line, and then suddenly it's they're causing big problems. But I think the more so this season is we've got problems in the back line. Defensively, they're all over the place. Going forward, they don't look creative at all. I mean, Haaland's not doing much, is he? But there's no chances being created for him to score goals. He had one chance.
So is that what it's down to? Is it down to people not feeding Haaland, or is it down to Haaland not performing?
It's a bit of both, I think. I mean, he's getting a lot of stick at the moment, Haaland, and he's a top player, so he should. He's not to this standard, and I think he understands it himself. But in the derby and the same last night, there's 10 outfield players that aren't doing their job. It's not just one man there. It's the whole team. Other than the goalkeeper, no one can walk out of those 2 games and say, I performed to the level that was expected of me. I personally feel it's a midfield issue. That is what, from what I can see, I think when you look at the City midfield yesterday, the goals they concede, every time Bodo Glimt come forward, they're so exposed the back because there's no midfielders helping those defenders out. Max Elaine was sort of left on his own, a youngster there to defend, 2 against 3 at times, 2 against 4. What can he do? And the midfield isn't helping. I think City have maybe made a mistake in the midfield. I know we've signed Semenyo in the forward areas. That's going to help us there. Mark Gay is going to bring some much-needed leadership to the back line. But I think Gay is going to find that he's going to be quite exposed in games because at Palace he plays in a back 3. He's got those wing-backs that play the more natural full-backs, a back 5, 2 holding midfielders in front of him. He's not going to get that at City. It's not going to happen. The full-backs are going to go high and wide. You're going to have your midfielders sometimes not helping you out, and that's going to be a problem.
Just a quick one on the title race. I know you've always been confident. We talk about it every week, but our guests on the show often say Manchester City are going to win the title. On Monday, Darren McAntony said he's starting to waver on that. And yesterday, Jamie O'Hara said, I'm waving the right flag. Arsenal have won the Premier League. What do you think now after the weekend?
You've got to back your own team always. I think that is one thing as a fan. You've always got to believe there's some hope. If you'd asked me at 3 p.m. on Saturday, it would have been a different answer. I think I wasn't so happy then. I thought it was over. I avoided trying to find out what the Arsenal result was. Luckily, they've slipped up again, haven't they? They've dropped points again. So I think it's not over yet, but City do need to find some inspiration, some energy, some creativity, and start playing the way they need to again. They need to start scoring goals, and they need to start defending a lot better because, I mean, Bodo Glimt aren't a top side, are they? And to tear City apart like they did yesterday is really worrying.
Listen, it's not all doom and gloom. You just signed Gehi and Semenyo. Like, that's a good window, innit, really?
I don't think you could have done much better. I don't think they could have done much better in getting those 2. But Aston, thank you.
Thanks, Aston.
Thank you.